So this actually came up whenever I was in college, actually. I was pretty much told my entire life that there's no jobs for artists outside of either A, being a graphic designer, B, being an art teacher, or C, being a self-employed artist. There are other side jobs available, for instance, running a gallery or something like that, but they're so niche. It's kind of like saying, I'm going to be a professional football player straight out of high school. And well, that's a great dream. The amount of people that try for it versus the amount of people that actually achieve it doesn't really pan out. For that specific reason, I have actually created this lesson because I've had students ask me a lot, what can they do in the art field when they get out of college? And honestly, the answer is quite a lot. Despite what I have been told for many years, once you sit down and start thinking about it, there's lots of jobs available in the arts that you can have. If you're interested in seeing some of the many pathways that you can have in art, I'm actually going to have a video that's going to show up there where you can watch and see many different kind of avenues or careers that you could pick in the art field in case you're interested. But for today, and actually for the next couple weeks, what your assignment is going to be, you're going to be coming up in a group with an idea for a career path, and you're going to be sharing that with the class. Now, before you freak out and think that, oh my goodness, it's a group project, let me explain what's going on first. First off, you're going to be in small groups. So we're looking at 2 to 3 people per group. You are also going to be coming up with unique career paths, which I have a huge list of them available to you, and I'm also giving you the opportunity to come up with your own. You are going to be selecting a career and you're going to be researching that career as a group. In these small groups, you're going to be making a presentation that you're going to be showing off to the class. Now, the reason why I have small groups is because, well, there are actually a couple reasons. First off, I never liked group projects because there's always one person that wants to get a good grade and the other people in the group latch onto it, and that one person is the only one that actually works. Small groups helps to eliminate that. So if there's only 2 people and one of them slacking off and the other one is doing work, well, it's a lot easier to see which one's slacking off. I still grade you individually, even though this is a group project. If you're the one person in the group that really wants to get a good grade, I don't want you to overwork what you're doing. So for instance, if one job is the presentation and the other job is the research, and the kid that does all the work and makes sure that everything is perfect is doing the presentation, well, they're waiting on so-and-so to give them the research. But if the other person doesn't give them the resources, well, the presentation has no information and it's not that kid's fault. Now, the means of your presentation or what you can use, basically, I don't care. It's entirely up to you. I have it listed as PowerPoint, Canva, Google Slides, live examples, live demonstrations, Google Sites, iMovie. I don't care. It's entirely up to you. It's however you would like to have the presentation. It needs to be a minimum of 5 minutes, which means you are up presenting for a minimum of 5 minutes. You can include a video, as in a single video, and that video cannot be any longer than a minute. If it is longer than a minute, I'm still going to require you to speak for at least 4 minutes. If you go longer than 5 minutes, then you get extra points. The more you research this, the better I think it's going to be, the better prepared you are, and I am perfectly content giving extra credit points for someone who goes longer. That doesn't mean that you get to stand up there for 30 minutes and talk about video games. Not my intention. If I think that it's going on too long and I think that you are just rambling, I will be deducting points from you. Presentation. You are presenting information to us. You are not boring us to tears. for a presentation, you actually need to be answering a series of questions. Now, that doesn't mean you have to answer every single question, but this does give you a starting point to where you can say, I'm going to answer this and this and this, and that will pretty much fill up your 5-minute window. These questions are: what is the job? How does the job relate to art? Why did you decide to research this career? How the job works? Provide examples. What kind of degree do you need? How much income? How much of demand is there for the job? What kind of clientele are you targeting? Provide examples of the placement of employment. For instance, is it going to be a storefront? Is it going to be a company, a factory, or are you going to be freelance? Leave room for questions to be answered, as well as make sure you cite your sources. You are going to have 3 weeks total on this assignment. The first day, they kind of research a few careers that you are interested in. That way, whenever we come back on the second day, we can decide which group gets which career. Because it's going to be lasting 3 weeks, every day is going to be 100 points like normal. That means that individually you are going to be graded 1,500 points for your work ethic. The next portion of it is going to be the presentation, and the presentation is not worth as much as a work ethic. Grand total 2,500 points, the majority of that being your work ethic. How the presentations are going to be graded: 5 minutes minimum, that's going to be a quarter of the points, or 250 points. Thorough research, which means that you have researched and you have enough of it that I think, hey, they did a good job. They actually looked into this. Professionalism, you are graded on your attire as well as your conduct. Now, that doesn't mean you have to show up in a suit and tie whenever you are presenting, but it is very apparent to myself as well as the other art teacher in our building that a lot of our students don't understand that when you're an artist, you do actually have to be professional. So this is going to be your first step into realizing that when you're presenting something, you need to be professional. This, while it's not exactly 100% professional, it also doesn't have any displaying logos or anything like that. So it is semi-professional, and I would accept this. I would not accept you showing up in a shirt that says, I can't make everyone happy, I'm not bacon. Finally, your group is going to be graded on respect for other presenters. So if your group is immature and saying inappropriate questions or something along that nature, or even on your phone during others' presentations, then I will be deducting points because that is a quarter of your presentation. Being able to be mature enough to handle other people's presentations. Now, of course, I wouldn't just throw you to the wolves on this one and expect you not to have any kind of idea of what to make. Instead, I'm the kind of teacher that if I give my students an assignment, I'm going to do it myself. So the next video coming up, and it's probably going to populate here, I think it's going to be here anyway, I'm going to be stepping you through a presentation that I made for this project, so you can see firsthand what I'm looking for and get an idea of what you can do.